So going further in our discussion, now let us see some more cases to understand this potential difference voltage. Let's take some charges of same type. This is a positive charge. Initially there is one charge. Now I put one more positive charge near to it. I put one more positive charge in this system and I add a few more charges. We can take the other way also. We can take some negative charges that are brought in this system together. Now, what will be the natural tendency in this system? The natural tendency will be that these will try to move apart because there will be a force of repulsion. They will try to move apart. Now, if we take this situation, in this situation also, the natural tendency would be that they will try to move apart. We know that when spontaneously a charge moves in one direction, that is the direction in which its potential energy decreases. So indirectly, this situation implies that in this system we have a lot of energy, and when these move out, there will be a loss of energy. Had it not been the case, these will not move out, because that is the general natural tendency that spontaneously a charge would move only when the movement gives it lesser potential energy or there is some loss of potential energy. In this case also we can say now that this system has a higher potential energy. Now from where has this higher potential energy come? Remember, initially we had just one, we added. Now when we add a charge of similar type and we put it near to a charge, obviously we are moving the charge against the force of repulsion, and we are doing, the external agency is doing some work. Now that work is stored in the potential energy of this system. So we say that if we have some collection of charges that are same in type, all positive or all negative, this collection is going to have a higher potential energy. We take another example. We have a collection of charges that are having both the type of charges. Let's say this is a situation in which we have some positive charge and some negative charge. The red one is positive and the yellow one is negative. Now we see that both of them are equal in number. So now we have 3 negative and 3 positive. So the sum is that there is no charge in this system, though they have particular charges, but as a whole the system is neutral. Now when I try to separate, let's say I try to separate a negative charge from this collection of charges. Initial point is this. I try to move this charge from this place. The moment I try to move this charge, this will be a positive system, because previously, initially it was neutral, and now I am trying to draw a charge apart from a neutral body. The moment I try to draw this, there will be a deficiency of that charge and there will be a surplus of the other charge. So here, because I am pulling out the negative charge, there will be a positive surplus charge in this system, and this positive would attract. So I will have to do a work. External agency will be doing a work, because what is the spontaneous, what is the natural tendency? The natural tendency is they are not moving because there is no force at all resultant. So the natural tendency is they are not moving. When we move it, when external agency moves it, we do a work, and that work is stored in the form of potential energy. So now we have a negative charge here. I pull another one, I have a negative charge here. I pull another one, the last one, I have a negative charge here. And I am left with only the positive charge in this system. These yellow negative charges are brought out, pulled apart from this system. And I have now 3 positive charge left here and 3 negative charges. And to create this situation, some external energy has done some work to move these charges against the force of attraction. So now that is stored in the potential energy. So initially there was no potential energy. We would say that it was 0, and now the potential energy is increased. And here also you can see these positive charges in a situation like this, they are held together, which is not possible by spontaneous or natural tendencies, that 3 positive charges are held together. So we need to keep this also under influence of some external force, which means here also we will be having a potential energy. So now we have 2 situations. If similar charges are held together, external agency is doing some work and they are at higher potential. If similar charges, be it negative type or positive type, are held together, they are at higher potential. And if dissimilar charges, if positive and negative charges are separated apart, they have a higher potential energy than it would have been when they were in a combination. These are the important concepts to generate electricity. Now you know, higher potential energy means this would try to move in this direction, this would try to move in this direction spontaneously. And a spontaneous movement of charge under influence of potential difference is known as electric current. So now we are very near to understand how does a current flow. So we need to create a potential difference. We need to have a point where we have higher potential, we need to have a point where we have a lower potential, and when we have such a situation, spontaneously electrons will try to move in the direction where they try to lose their potential energy, and this whole process is known as electrical current. Now let us understand one more important concept. We take this example. Initially we have some negative charge here and some positive charge. Now if it is let free, one charge would move from this place to this place under the spontaneous tendency from higher potential to lower potential energy. So this moves. Now we have a negative charge here, and I wipe it from here because this charge is moved from this place to this place back. Now think of the other charge. This will also move. This will also move. But will it move with the same force, same tendency as the first one has moved? You know, initially let's say if there was a charge of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positive here, and it was pulling, 6 positive were pulling these negative charges. So there was a force of attraction between 6 positive and these negative charges. Now when one electron or one negative charge has flown from this point to this point, practically you would find that now this is not 6, this has become 5 plus. Because one positive charge is nullified by the effect of one negative charge that is now introduced in this family. What I mean to say, in a situation where we have a potential energy difference, or in a situation where we have a potential difference, successive movement of charges will not be that forceful as the first one. The first one will be the most energetic because it is pulled by higher electric attraction forces. The next one, of course, there is an attraction, so this will come, but this will not come with the same energy. In the other words, we can say previously this was having higher potential energy, and here we are having lower potential energy for these negative 1. Now once the one electron is shifting from here to here, the potential energy of this and potential energy of this and the difference has decreased. So initial potential difference and the potential difference after one charge moving will be different, and now it is lower. So the potential difference is decreasing, you can say. The potential energy difference from initial to next step is decreasing. Now when one more charge flows from here to here, we have one more negative here. Now we have one less negative here. And subsequently to the third one, we'll have even lesser tendency, because now the attraction force is becoming lesser and lesser. And the lesser the force, lesser will be the work done in movement of the charge, because force multiplied by the displacement gives you the work done. So an important concept coming here is, if we need each and every charge to move with the same energy, with the same kinetic energy, or with the same velocity, we need a constant potential difference, which means the initial potential difference and subsequent potential differences should not have any lesser value. So one thing is, we need a constant potential difference. Another interesting thing is, let's say after 4 or 5 steps of similar kind, all of these charges are replaced from this place to this place. Now we don't have anything here. Everything is moved. Here we have more negatives. All have come back, because as long as you have a negative here and you have some positive here, the spontaneous activity would be that the charges would flow from one to the other side, and the side where they lose the potential energy. So now the picture is done. You don't have anything here, so you won't have any potential difference because there is no potential here, and you won't have any charge here to move at all. So now the current ceases. What I try to emphasize with these notions, that for a constant current flow, we need a constant availability of charges. These should not get consumed, and the potential difference between this and this remains constant. Then only we'll be having a same velocity, same energy flow of charge from one initial point to the final point. How is it possible? How is it possible? The only way I can find is, a charge moves from here to here under potential difference, and the same charge is removed back from this place to this place by some other source of energy. This is exactly what our generators do. This is exactly what a battery does. So all the devices that generate electricity, basically they try to maintain the potential difference, and they recycle the charges such that a charge which has lost the potential energy from an initial point to final point, it will be pushed back against natural tendency, because the natural tendency is it will not go from here to here. This was natural tendency. This is not natural tendency, but there will be some external work done which would again put this negative electron or negative charge from this point to this point. This way we will have an availability of charges here back, and we will have maintained potential difference between the 2 points between which we want flow of current. We'll understand this with an analogy. This is a schematic diagram of water supply from a water reservoir to a domestic setup. Assume that this is a domestic setup in which we have a tap, and this tap gets the water. Now we have an overhead tank which supplies, due to the potential energy that is gained by this water, because it is raised from this ground level to this level, the water flows on its own. But as in the previous case, the story stops here. When the water is here, after some time this tank will not have much water, so this tank will be devoid of water and this supply get ceased. Now to maintain a continuous supply, what we would do, we would recycle this water back to the reservoir, number one, because we cannot produce more and more water, so water needs to be recycled. So we recycle this water back to the reservoir, maybe a river or a pond or whatever natural resource that was there in vicinity of this domestic setup. And now we have to gain the potential energy also. So from here we'll have a system, maybe a windmill will be there, and you have a belt on attached to the windmill which raises the water, and the water is filled back into the tank. Or maybe you have a thermal plant which heats this water, the water gets converted into steam, steam rises on its own, gaining the thermal energy, and here it gets condensed and you again get water here. So you may have different kind of pumps. This is a kind of thermal pump, this will be a kind of windmill operated pump. So we may have different mechanisms, but the point is here the heat energy, here the wind energy or the mechanical energy of the wind is utilized to convert this water into a higher potential energy water. And now from here this water again comes back to this domestic supply, recycled back again it is pumped up. You may have an electrical pump also, so there can be different mechanisms, but the idea is we have to raise it up. Similar thing will be done in the case of an electric generator, that is done by some battery or that is done by some electrical generator. You see, suppose you have a wire, so we need to create a situation in which we have more electrons here, and since we have more electrons here, we will have more positivity here. I mean, this is inside the wire, but to give a better view, I'm trying to put it like this, that we have a wire on which we have created a similar situation was created previously. We had positivity here and we have negativity here, managed by some external agency. Again here we have a situation in a wire, we have more electrons at one end and deficient of electron at the other end. Now the natural tendency would be electrons will move from this direction to this direction, and you say that the conventional current will move from positive to negative side. But this situation would not long for much if we let it be like this. So it needs a kind of pump, because after first cycle you know that you are devoid of charge, number one, and you are devoid of energy also. So you need a constant supply of energy such that that energy is converted into electrical potential energy, and that electrical potential energy is going to maintain this current at a constant speed. So how is it done? You may have a battery setup which is like this, you know. Now the situation is, if an electron comes here, this electron is consumed by this terminal of the battery. So practically the electron does not any chance to occupy a space here. So the electron is basically consumed by this battery's positive pole, and in turn an electron is again released by the negative pole of this battery. So practically one electron reaches from this place to this place, but one electron is given again here and one electron is consumed here. So this remains like this and this remains like this throughout the cycle, which means we have availability of electrons at this pole always in similar number, and because the collection of electron is same, the amount of potential energy will be same, and the potential difference between this point and this point will remain same, so the current will remain same. So we will have a constant voltage current throughout the time as long as this battery supports. Now the catch here is what is being done by the battery. So there is a chemical reaction that takes place, so chemical energy is consumed, some chemical is consumed, and electrons are picked up from this part, electrons are given at this part. so that number of electrons are maintained at this end and number of positivity is maintained at this end, and electrons flow from this to this. So this is how you maintain a constant voltage current. This situation is almost similar like this situation, wherein this reservoir is maintained at a particular volume and this height is also maintained by recycling and by pumping. So we have to see two things: the availability of the charge carrier and the same potential energy and the same potential difference between the charge carriers.